All right, welcome everyone. We're so glad to have you here. We had a chance to do some introductions over here. Welcome to Resources for New Families with AZCEND and First Things First. And I want to introduce our speakers today. Hold on one second because my child is screaming in the other room. Okay, we'll see. So I'd like to welcome, we're in real mom life, right? I'd like to welcome Sheri Collins from First Things First. She's a First Things First Community Outreach Coordinator for the Southeast Maricopa region. Before joining First Things First, Sheri served as a First Things First grant partner in the East Maricopa, Southeast Maricopa, and Yavapai regions as an outreach specialist with Arizona Children's Association. Welcome, Sheri. And then I'd like to introduce Donna Beedle. She's the Family Resource Center Manager of AZCEND, and she's a leader in the First Things First network with significant experience in low-income communities and expertise as a former director of Maricopa WIC.
Mom, why are you saying
so,
First Things First?
Sorry, and there's my child giving his commentary. So, welcome both of you this morning. We're so happy to have you. First Things First and AZCEND have both been such amazing partners. They're both partners on our Fourth Trimester Villages ecosystem project. So we're so delighted to have them with us today to share resources. So I will turn it over to the two of you. And Sheri, are you going first today?
I will go first. Thank you. Perfect. And bear with me. I'm going to share my screen. I just have a few slides I want to share with you, and then I'll pop off of that and move on to show you some really cool things on our website. So lots of great resources there, and a really great way to start. So thank you, Jenny and Sarah, for inviting Donna and I here today. I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit about the importance of those first 5 years. I'm sure you all know how critical they are in a child's life, and they shape their future. I'm going to tell you a little bit about First Things First. If you already know about us, hopefully you'll learn something new, and then how to find programs and resources. And so basically, First Things First is Arizona's early childhood organization. And as Jenny said, I work in the Southeast Maricopa region. So we are statewide, and we're divided up into 28 regions because every community or village looks a little bit different and might need different types of resources. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that. But I know some of you may be joining not from the East Valley Fourth Trimester Village, but that's okay because we're statewide. So hopefully this information will be helpful to you as well. So just a couple of things about early childhood. Research shows that 90% of a child's brain growth happens before kindergarten. So that means that learning begins at birth, and parents are their child's first and best teacher. And that's why we want to make sure everyone has resources. So research also shows that if we do focus on those early years, it can result in some really positive long-term outcomes like you can see on the screen. And you and parents and caregivers really play a vital role in helping build that strong foundation for their children. Just to share a little story, I used to be one of my many careers, a teacher. So I taught 8th grade and high school kids. So I think back on those kids, had they had a strong foundation, the ones that were really struggling, what their life would have been like. So I'm really passionate about sharing how critical those first 5 years are. And we know that because parents are their child's first teachers, we want to make sure that families are strong so we can have really strong and thriving villages like the East Valley Fourth Trimester Village and all the other villages that they're creating and doing such a great job in supporting parents out there. So First Things First helps equip parents with different tools and resources because we want to make sure that we support parents and caregivers so that children have healthy lives and they're learning in those early years, which are so vital. So that's why First Things First was created. We want to support parents in their role because you are your child's first teacher. We want to make sure all kids arrive at kindergarten ready to succeed because they are going to be a part of our village as adults and be our teachers and our pastors and all the other great things that we are doing right now. So we partner with families, but we also partner with community partners like AZCEND, and that's Donna, who's with me here today. That we have 2 family resource centers, one in Gilbert and one in Chandler, called AZCEND. And in a moment, Donna's going to share with you some of the wonderful programs and resources that their organization does provide. And just to note that all of our programs that we have statewide, they're voluntary, they're free, no cost, and we provide a variety of settings so that'll best meet families' needs, because everybody's a little bit different of what they feel comfortable with and you know, what resources would work for them. So we were actually created back in 2006 by a voter initiative, and 90 cents of every dollar that we have goes back to fund the different programs that we provide for young children and their families. So you're probably going, well, what are these programs? So if you're not familiar with First Things First, again, we have family resource centers, and I'm going to let Donna explain more about that. But we also have other programs. And remember, these are at no cost to you, and you can just pick and choose what works best for you. We have home visitation programs, and that provides support for parents so that they can better understand their child's development. And it's in-home activities. So a parent educator actually comes in your home. There's also parenting education classes that increase knowledge and skills for parents. And it's a really great way for parents to learn and share from other parents and interact with each other. So how can you find these programs that are in your area? Well, we have a family resource guide, and I'm going to show you how to access that on our website in just a second. And we also have a Find Programs tab that looks like the screen you're sharing. So that leads me to our website, firstThingsFirst.org. And that's a really great place to first start learning about programs and resources and all kinds of great information about early childhood. So I'm going to stop sharing the slides and go on to our website now. So bear with me as I get to our website. All right, so this is what our website looks like. Can everybody see our website? Perfect. So if you scroll down about halfway to our website, you'll see that Find Programs tab, and you can simply put in your zip code and start your search. So we are divided into 28 regions statewide, again, because every community village is a little bit different. So for example, if you live in Mesa, Gilbert, or Queen Creek, you would be a part of our Southeast Maricopa region, and Donna's AZCEND, the Family Resource Center, is in, they have 2, one in Gilbert. And then if you're a part of the other part of our East Valley, First Things First areas, that would be East Maricopa. And so that would be Tempe, Guadalupe, Chandler, and all the way up to Scottsdale and up north there. And Donna's AZCEND has a resource center there in Chandler as well. So now I just wanted to direct you to the top here, find your region. And you can see that we have a lot of different regions, 28 statewide. But if you don't live in Mesa, Gilbert, Queen Creek, you can put in your address here and find your region. Many of you may have family and friends that are living across the state. So I'd love for you to share with them our Find Your Region page so they can find resources in their area as well. We also have on the side publications. Let me get my, can't see right now. Oh, I want to go to Southeast Maricopa, which is the region I work in. You can see that we have publications right here. So we have a resource guide, and this is a PDF that you could print. I can't go into it because it won't show the PDF, but it prints all the different resources that are available. But again, another easy way is just to go to our Find Programs tab right here and just simply put in a zip code, and that works as well. So what do we have for parents? Well, our parent tab is full of great information. I'm going to take you to our parent kit. So as you're leaving the birthing center or a hospital with your little one, hopefully you're receiving this parent kit that looks like this, what you're seeing on the screen. And it provides this really great resource book to help parents support their children in the 4th trimester and then each phase. So starting with when they're a baby and then moving on to toddler and preschool. So hopefully you're receiving that. But we also have our parent kit, as you can see here digitally, and it's just a vast amount of information. It even talks about when you're expecting, all the way up from infant, toddler, preschool to your family's well-being. So that's great information to find on our website. And then I believe it was Sarah, I can't remember if we've mentioned this, or maybe it was pre-Facebook Live, but our Birth to 5 helpline is really, really awesome. And it is a free service. It's one of our programs that is statewide, and it's for parents, parents to be. It could be if you're a professional working with young children, anybody can call the Birth to 5 helpline. And you can pose questions or concerns about your infant, toddler, preschooler. And on the line are early childhood experts. And you can ask them any of these type of questions: sleep, nursing, maybe your baby's really fussy and you just don't know what's going on. And they are there to answer your questions. And the great thing is you can call them, you can text them. Let's see, you can even go online and submit a question. And great news is they have an app, because we're all using apps this day, right? So that's really helpful as well. So you can see our parent tab has a lot of great information like ages and stages, find your program. We have our Quality First program, which again is another statewide program. And let me just scroll down here. Our Quality First program is basically we are partnering with other childcare providers. And you can go on to the website here, the Quality First website, and find out how important those first years are with early quality childcare and preschool settings. And you can find out what to look for in a childcare or preschool setting and how they're promoting information. So another great way, perhaps maybe you're going back to work, you're in your 4th trimester and it's time to go back to work. You want to find a quality early learning setting or to learn about that, then you can go to our Quality First page. So if we go back to our front page, obviously we are on social media, so you can find a lot of great information on our Facebook page as well. And you can like and share our posts. But what you'll find there is a lot of great information, blogs, like currently we just posted positive parenting, seeing things through their kids' eyes. Back in the holidays, we had a gift guide. We have a blog on tips for video chat with young children. During our social distancing right now, we're really feeling distanced from our grandparents and our aunts and our uncles and other family members. So this gives you some great tips on how to do video chats and try to stay connected. So lots of great information there for you as well. So I'm going to stop sharing now and just quickly go back to the PowerPoint slides. So ways that you, again, just to kind of recap, learn more about First Things First, on our website at the top left-hand corner, you can sign up for a monthly e-newsletter, and that we have a parent newsletter as well as the latest things. And in the parent newsletter, you'll find a lot of the great blogs that we post with great parenting information. You can follow us on Facebook, obviously. And again, please do refer others to firstThingsFirst.org across Arizona, your family and your friends, so that they can learn about programs in their area. And go to our Find Programs tab to find out about home visitation. If you live in Mesa, I don't know if anybody's here today with Mesa, but we have 2 family resource centers there as well. And of course, you can always contact me with more information. I'm happy to talk to anybody and help them find resources or more information about First Things First. So I'm going to turn it over to my partner in crime here, Donna Beedle, and she's going to share with you One of our really great programs that we fund, a family resource center called AZCEND. Great programs. Thank you.
Can I interrupt just briefly to ask you a question, Sheri?
Of course.
So before we move on, I have a question of, are there any eligibility requirements for any of your programs?
Not any. So that's a great question. All of our programs that we provide or fund are at no cost to anybody and everybody, no matter what your income is. So I know growing up, and I'm going to date myself, I wish First Things First was around, because our programs are just so helpful in building those first 5 years, because they're so critical in a child's life. I mean, I think just it was in me to read and work with my children and talk to them all the time, but everybody and anybody, you know, we need help. We're as parents. So our programs are at no cost. And again, we have a variety of different programs and settings, because every family, you know, your needs may be different. So great question.
Awesome. And one more, if that's okay.
Sure.
Can pregnant women access the services, or just after birth?
No, we have some services. For example, the Birth to 5 helpline has a fussy baby program, which is awesome. So there are some really great services, and I know Donna can talk about that as well. If you're expecting, you have a child from 0 to 5. So all of our services are basically 0 to 5. So we do have some of those. You can join our parenting education workshops. You can go to AZCEND, the Family Resource Center, if you're expecting, because it's never too early to learn, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much for addressing those questions.
So much, Sheri.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Without further ado. Sorry, Donna.
No worries. No worries.
Awesome. Tell us about AZCEND.
Oh, I'm going to attempt here to share my screen. Is it there? No. Oh boy. Let's see. Am I there? I'm not there, am I?
Not yet.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's see.
And don't worry, because we all don't really know what we're doing as far as technology. We just try our best.
Multiple participants can share simultaneously, yes?
You should be able to share if you just click on that bottom screen share, the little box with the up arrow in it, and then pick your screen. It should pop up with options.
Is it there or no? Can you see it? No?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sad. I had such cool slides for you guys.
You want to email it to me really quick?
Yeah, if you email it to one of us, we can share for you.
Thanks. That would be great, because I'd really love to share this with everyone.
We'd love to see it. Jenny, would you like to take on sharing that, or do you want me to do it? Okay.
Yep, I can do that.
Is Jenny then?
So Jenny, it's fine. Yeah. Thanks, Donna. We'll get it working. Don't worry.
About this. Oh, it's going really slow. It says it'll be sent as a Google Drive link. Is that okay?
Yeah, that should work just fine.
Okay. So I guess maybe while we're doing that, I could just sort of start a little bit for folks, and then we'll catch up with the slides real quick.
Sounds good to me.
Just sitting and waiting, and I'm sorry about this technical stuff. I just am not, I never proclaimed to be even remotely good at it, but we'll keep trying, right? So thank you, Sheri, for your kind words about AZCEND. We do have, as Sheri mentioned, 2 family resource centers, one in Chandler And I'm coming to you from the Gilbert Heritage Center, my office. And at the Gilbert Heritage Center, it's an investment of the town in a social service one-stop shop location. And we have Family Resource Center, we have WIC here, Dignity Health, and Southwest Behavioral Health. So that's been a really nice, we opened in the summer of 2018. And so that's been a really nice opportunity. In both locations, we are extremely well supported by the communities. It's such a blessing that is the case. And of course, we are funded not exclusively, but primarily by First Things First. So our focus is families with children 0 to 5 years old, but we don't exclude anyone because we feel like what's good for that little one, 0 to 5, is good for everyone in the family. So lots of our programs span that scope. Most of the time, we are having people come into our centers and interacting with folks and having a good time, but the pandemic has changed that quite a bit. And so I will show you that on the slides, how we've pivoted to do that. As Sheri mentioned, we are in the East Valley, Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Mesa. We are one of 23 family resource centers in Maricopa County. So I heard some of you ladies are in other locations throughout the valley, which, as Sheri mentioned, is not a problem at all, because those 23 family resource centers, some of those have multiple locations just as we do. And so you could find resources anywhere you go, although we'd love to have you. A little bit about AZCEND. AZCEND was started in Chandler in 1966 as a food bank. Since then, we've expanded and we have a community action program in both locations. We do rent and utility assistance. We have a homeless program called iHelp, Interfaith Homeless Emergency Lodging Program. That program helps folks who are experiencing homelessness, and they help folks. So downtown, there's a place, right, that you can go if you're experiencing homelessness. Here in the East Valley, iHelp is a program that takes folks to area partner churches who house folks, get them meals and things like that, and then bring them back for case management services to AZCEND. We also have a lady who does benefits assistance. So if families need help finding out information about food stamps with DES or Social Security or any of those programs. And AZCEND is also highly involved in Gilbert and Chandler Senior Centers. We do activities in Gilbert, and we do congregate and home delivered meals activities at both places. I'm wondering, there we go, Jenny, that should be coming to you.
Okay.
Great, thank you. I was just gonna say, if you could try one more time to send that, or you could even, if you wanted to drop the link into the chat on our Zoom call, that might work as well.
Yeah, or you can send it directly to me in the chat if you want. I don't know why it's not coming through on email. Oh, but I just got it. Okay. Yay! And there was a question from Jacqueline too. Yeah. What does AZCEND stand for?
AZCEND. Oh, it doesn't. It's so up until, let's see, I've been here 4 years in May, and right after I came, well, when I came to work here, it was called Chandler Christian Community Center. And right after that, we did a brand name change. And the idea behind that change was that we were no longer just Chandler, we were no longer just Christian, and we were no longer just a community center. So with that expansion, the board and some other folks, after all of those years since 1966, made the decision to change to AZCEND. I don't think it really stands for anything. I think it was a culmination of ideas around sort of ascending to the next level. I think it also is, it lends itself to sort of that geographic no boundary thing. And I also think it appeals to people across whatever religion, whatever you know, whatever your belief system is, AZCEND is a place that you can come for help and support. And then the Family Resource Center in Chandler has been there. We started when First Things first funded us in 2010, and in Gilbert we began in 2018. So that's been a really, really, really cool journey. Yay! Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much. Now, can I click through those, or do you need to do that for me?
So Jenny will need to click through them for you. Okay. So when you want her to switch, just let her know next slide and we'll take care of it for you.
Oh, this was just the first what I would talked about earlier. We're funded by First Things First. This is a little one in our Giggles, Squiggles, Squirms program. And again, we're funded in 2 regions with First Things First, the East Maricopa County region for our Chandler facility and Southeast Maricopa for our Gilbert facility. Next, please. These were the services that I was mentioning to you earlier with, you know, the rent and utility assistance, iHelp, benefits assistance, the senior center piece, and then just a quick little plug for AZCEND. If you know anybody who could benefit from any of those services, please refer them to us, and you can get more information on our website at azcend.org. We also have, oh my gosh, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those. So, so just a little plug for AZCEND. Next, please. So as Sheri was mentioning, Family Resource Centers are a strategy area for First Things First. We strive every day to strengthen families and communities, provide positive parenting tools in terms of classes, advise family support coordination, referrals. We nurture early childhood development. At our Chandler location, we have an early literacy program. I mentioned earlier, we focus on children 0 to 5, but we don't just exclusively 0 to 5. We welcome everyone. We promote healthy development. We do, with the partnership with AZCEND United Way, we do developmental screenings, and we promote early learning and kindergarten readiness with our program, and then in partnership with the with both library systems, because we know how important it is, as someone mentioned earlier, how important it is for those little ones to go to school ready to learn. Next, please. And here, as I mentioned before, we've been serving Chandler families in our FRC since 2010, and we have the privilege of serving Gilbert families at the Gilbert Heritage Center since 2018. And at the Gilbert Heritage Center, we do have WIC, Dignity Health, and Southwest Behavioral Health as partners, which has been amazing, because when families come for one thing, they generally can benefit from our partner services. Next, please. So our target population, as was mentioned earlier, this is our target population, but we are by no means exclusive. We target Gilbert and Chandler's most vulnerable families, generally high levels of poverty, poor health, low education. 92% of our FRC families receive other AZCEND services. But to Sheri's point earlier, everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Our GSS program has families whose parents work at Intel, so we welcome everyone. Next, please. So these are our, I can't introduce them to you in person, and I would love to, because they are awesome staff. We have fabulous teams at both locations. So I oversee both locations, and in Chandler, we have Leslie as a navigator, Carmen as a coordinator, Lisette as a child watch monitor, and Laura Rahman as our GSS teacher. In Gilbert, sort of the same roles, except that we don't have the early literacy program. So there's me, Jennifer as a navigator, Vanessa as a coordinator, and Lourdes as child watch. Next, please. This is us with the big guy at Christmas time in Operation Santa. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that was the best staff picture that I had that had everybody in it. So we had a good time with Santa that day. Next, please. So our programs, I think I've mentioned a little bit, just a comprehensive list that I'll just go hit really quickly. GSS is our early literacy program. I mentioned the developmental screenings. Our family support coordination program is where folks can receive diaper assistance, and we encourage people to join that program and commit to 3 months of meetings or phone calls right now with our coordinator and referrals, and just making a plan and coming up with some of those strategies for parenting. But emergency diaper assistance is also available to families who might be experiencing financial difficulty. That's picked up quite a bit throughout the pandemic, and so we're happy to do that for families, and then we introduce other programs to them. Then we have more formal offerings to support parents: musicology, raising a reader, story time. We recently were able to do story time virtually, so that's been really good because we've had more participation because of that. Our child watch services is available while parents are in our classes or our services, but they're also available to our partners both in Chandler and in Gilbert. So if a mom and dad are sitting down with the CAP staff to talk about why they need renter utility assistance, sometimes it's really cool that, you know, our staff can sit and watch the child and let them play so that the parents can take care of business, and that's been a really good service. Other parenting resources: Abriendo Puertas, First 5 Years, Systematic Training for Effective Programming, which is STEP, Triple P Positive Parenting. We also offer, in collaboration with a volunteer in our community, English as a second language classes for free. We get car seats donated, and staff are trained to install those. And then Operation Santa is a community or a flagship program of AZCEND that has taken off in both locations, and we participate in a citywide initiative, Operation Back to School. You'll notice some of these programs, Operation Back to School and our early literacy program, are Chandler only, but the rest of those programs are available at both locations. That font's a little bit small, but we had to fit a lot on there. Next, thanks, Jenny. So this is just a quick picture of our early literacy program. The GSS program, Giggles, Squiggles, Squirms, is designed to be a 2-generational program. So parents or grandparents are required to stay with their child. And sometimes the parents get as much out of it socially as kids do. So that's been really nice. And then this is one of my favorite pictures of our little graduates every year. This graduation ceremony just makes me cry because they're so cute and they're in for such exciting things as they go on to kindergarten, because we know, based on the feedback that we receive from kindergarten teachers and families, that they're ready to learn, and they're ready to go to kindergarten because they've learned their letters, they've learned their numbers, they've learned how to hold a pencil, they've learned how to take direction from a teacher, and they've learned how to work together. So that's one of my favorite parts of our work here. Next, please. So when the pandemic happened and things changed, we did too. So this is how we do our Giggles, Squiggles, Squirms program now. That's Miss Laura at the top, and all of the kids have been really great about logging on and paying attention and continuing to learn despite, you know, the difficulty in our world right now. And just as a brief aside, some of the families didn't have technology, or they did, but they didn't have enough for everyone. So we had community supporters step forward to provide Amazon Fire tablets so that families could continue to participate in our programs without that barrier. So we love that, and we love that story, and we just love these little ones. And the only bad part about this pivot that we did was we don't get to see the kids at the center anymore, and we miss them, which is why, ladies, it's been so nice to see your children on the screen. So thank you. It's really fun to see them. Next, please. We also have done some, because we are unable to hold events right now, because we are unable to invite families and kids into the center, we've done some fun things to continue engagement. And so we've done some raffles. This was the lady who won our Fun in the Sun raffle. And these things were donated by community members. And so we put together these baskets, and we ask for them to participate in our quick session. And then this lady won the basket. And she was so happy because her kids had been asking for a swimming pool, and there it was, magically appeared for them. So the next few slides are just examples of our remote efforts to keep things going. Even our STEM education, Bricks for Kids has been going via Zoom, and so has Future Kitty. And then these kids up in the left-hand corner received boxes that were donated from Intel that have STEM age-appropriate STEM activities in them. And so we usually do these things at the center, but we've been able to pivot, so that's been really good. Next, please. This is another example. So every month we try to do something because that's what we'd be doing if folks could come. This was our Cinco de Mayo drive-through event. That's staff with all the gift bags ready to go for parents to come by and pick up an activity bag with information about programs. And then this one was really fun. The ladies figured out how to put in inexpensive materials, and then did we call it a YouTube video about how to do that with their children to make piñatas. So, and then we asked them, could you please send us pictures of your piñatas? And I think the next slide will be that. Oh no, I didn't include it, sorry. Anyway, so similarly for Happy 4th of July, same thing. Parents drove through both locations and could pick up a bag with fun things for 4th of July celebrations that they could do crafts with their children and things like that. Next. Same thing, Leaves Are Falling, Autumn is Calling. They were able to decorate these pumpkins, and there were some fun things in there about gratitude and things like that. We got really positive feedback about this one. Families really enjoyed this. Next, please. Merry Grinchmas was the replacement for our, usually as part of Operation Santa, we have a Christmas party. And we have bouncy houses, and we have hot chocolate, and we have cookies, and we have candy, and we have craft stations. And so this year, these were the little bags that people could drive through and pick up for Merry Grinchmas. And the Grinchmas is not lost on us. You know, it was a little tough this year, but we made the best of it. So there's a little miniature Christmas tree in there, little miniature ornaments. There's a packet of hot chocolate. There's some marshmallows and some cookies, and a Christmas book. And we partner with an area church that provides those materials to us. And so that was a really cool thing that we were able to do. Operation Santa is our flagship recruitment, retention, engagement event. Operation Santa this year at both locations served 574 kids, 204 families. This program is for families who couldn't otherwise celebrate, you know, some of the goodness of Christmas. And so these were the bags that were getting ready to go out. And then some of the bikes that were donated or purchased for families. There are a couple of aspects to this program. So we receive funding specifically from Chandler Compadres to provide Christmas for 40 families. So we shop and wrap and deliver, and the compadres deliver that those items. The other piece of it that has sort of evolved and become even more popular than the compadres piece is the idea of matching, you know, adopters with families who need to be adopted, and that has just turned into a huge source of goodwill in the community. And of those families that I talked about, you know, the vast majority of those families, 180 of them, in fact, or 170 of them, in fact, were adopted by other families or community organizations. And because this year, a lot of families and adopters were uncomfortable with the home delivery thing, we were sort of the drop-off and pickup point for families. So we sort of got to see all the wonderful, beautiful gifts that would come in as for families, and then get to convey those to families. So that was really fun, because when that happens out in the community without us, you know, we didn't get to see it. We just knew that it was happening. So that was gratifying this year. Next, please. these are the Chandler compadres and their families, again with the big guy. And as I mentioned, they did not do home delivery this year. They opted against that. And so we did a pickup event at AZCEND for those 40 families. And this was really fun because the kids got involved. And we did this, and the way that we planned it was consistent with think of Outback pickup at the curbside. So same thing, come at this time, park in this space, pick up your gifts. And so that was really, really a nice event and a good partnership with the compadres as everybody worked to adjust. Next. So we talk about this all the time in our centers. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. And so that is our focus each and every day. How do we help parents? How do we help families build strong children? Because the prevention, as we know, like from my public health days and from WIC, the prevention is much easier on everyone and much less disruptive than the cure at the other side. Next. And then, of course, the next evolution is that stronger families create stronger communities, and we all want that. Next. Our community engagement coordinator, Logan Waterman, wanted me to be sure that I mentioned this all to you guys. You all know that I'm not technologically savvy at all. So, you know, please like us and follow us on Facebook. Please go follow us on Instagram. Please take a look at our Twitter. And I know that I've given you a ton of information, and so you can always go to our website, www.ascend.org, to get more information. Our posts on this at AZCEND community are a pretty good indicator of what's going on and what's coming up. They talk about our upcoming classes and things that you can sign up for. And all of those are via Zoom right now, and so everybody's welcome. I think next. And I just really want to thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today. We love to talk about our programs and our families and get the word out. And so if you ever have an opportunity to share this information with a friend, if you have anybody that you think might benefit from our services, we'd love to hear from them. And we're also happy to go out and present to groups about our services. And we also are constantly seeking community partners because that's really key in how we do our work. So I know that was really fast, and I know that there's a lot of information. Are there any questions for me?
Thank you so much, Donna. I apologize that my son needed me during the time. This time I might not have been quite as on as I should be, but
no apologies.
Yeah. The resources that you guys provide there are so amazing, and I love that your centers also have other services that are there too. And that was, I mean, there are questions in the chat I need to answer, but maybe you could tell us just about the fact that WIC is in the same community center with you, and some of the other things that are in that awesome center.
Yeah, so at Gilbert Heritage Center, that was a deliberate thought process with town leaders and Trinity, our CEO, around, well, we need some social services in Gilbert. And early on, there wasn't a feeling in Gilbert that Gilbert needed those kinds of services. And our CEO politely said, oh, yes, you do, because we're seeing them in Chandler. And so it took a while. It took a community needs assessment. It took some persistence and some patience. And so, yeah, the Dignity Health is here in the Heritage Center. They have a state-of-the-art dental clinic for low and no-cost dental care. They do immunizations here every Wednesday afternoon by appointment right now because of the pandemic. They don't have the COVID ones quite yet. They're doing those at the Chandler Gilbert Community College. And then, yeah, it was kind of like coming home to me because WIC moved in, and it was folks that I had worked with when I was at the county. And so it's like, hey guys, welcome back, you know. And so They're doing everything virtually right now too, but that's been a really nice partnership because they're focused on generally the same families that we are. And a lot of our folks who join our family support coordination program with Jennifer come to us from WIC because they've needed help with diapers or referrals or things like that in the community. And then of course, Southwest Behavioral Health is also in the lower level, and they have a sliding fee scale to help families with behavioral health or counseling or referrals as well. So that has been really, really, really well received here in Gilbert. And we have an amazing partnership with the Gilbert Moms Club and an amazing partnership with the Gilbert Lions Club. And so really a nice sense of community, really a nice, really nice way to help families to find what they need. We love to say, and I say it all the time, and staff is sick of hearing me say it, but if we can't help you, we'll find someone who can. So for instance, in Gilbert, if you would benefit from food bank, then we partner with Open Arms, and there are eligibility requirements for that. In Chandler, on Fridays, they do a food rescue program, and in Chandler, anyone, regardless of where you live or what your income is, on Fridays can go to Chandler and get a pretty nice food box. So we say it all the time, if we can't help you, we know someone who can, and we'll reach out and find that for you. So that's been good. I was a little sad when the pandemic happened because we had really started to gain some momentum in Gilbert, and then things changed, but the drive-through events have been pretty good. And then of course our Operation Santa participation in Gilbert just really exponentially increased in Gilbert as well. And a lot of folks came forward to adopt as well too.
That's amazing. I was blown away by how many families you were able to serve and provide gifts for at Christmas. Yeah. That's so huge for those kids, especially, and the parents, just to feel that they are cared for and supported during a really financially difficult time, regardless of whether it's the holidays. This pandemic has hit everybody in that job market.
Yeah, and the stories that we hear. So I sit next to the ladies who are providing rent and utility assistance, and they have to know why you're in need of assistance and to get out of that. And and the stories are heartbreaking. And because they're heartbreaking, we then say, oh, please sign up for our program. And so that's like the one-stop shop is nice for the families. And it's nice for us too, because they're already here and we can offer our assistance in so many areas.
That's awesome. I have a request for both Sheri and you, Donna. Can you brag a little? We want to know, which of your offerings do you consider to be most innovative and or impactful, and why? Winky face from Elizabeth. So I'll open it up to either one of you who wants to go first.
Do you want to go first, Sheri, or?
Sure. So as I said earlier, First Things First is Arizona's early childhood organization. We are the only public funding source dedicated exclusively to early childhood. And again, that started back in 2006 as a voter initiative. So the voters felt really strongly that those first 5 years are super critical in a child's life. And it's the beginning of our state's education continuum. I mean, a lot of people, I ask when do you start learning? And people will say, oh, the kindergarten teacher, but really it starts at the beginning. So I think the fact that we are Arizona's only public funding source is really huge. But I did want to say also that we aren't the end all be all. We collaborate with other early childhood system partners like AZCEND, because it makes an even bigger impact. First Things First can't do it alone. So we really do depend on all of our community partners, and we all work together to make sure that our kids have what they need so that when they get to kindergarten, they're ready, and then they're ready to go on to bigger and better things, and then creates our thriving villages that Sarah and Jenny are trying to create. So It's a group effort, as they say. It takes a village, and we are just part of that village.
We're so thankful that you're part of that village.
We're thankful that you're here too. So as you can see, what fourth trimester is doing is huge as well. So we can't all do it alone. And we all have that same goal, is just we want the best for our kids, each and every one of them.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And so for me, I'll cheat just a little bit. So in terms of innovation, I am really proud of what we've been able to do to keep things going during this really difficult, unprecedented time in our history. Clearly, none of us have ever lived through anything like this before, and the way that our families and our staff and you guys, look at what we're doing right now in the middle of this pandemic. So I'm most proud of the virtual nature, even though I'm not very good at it, but the virtual nature of our programs, that we've been able to just switch and change and just keep going. And moms have done that too, and I'm proud of us as a collective. In terms of impactful, I think that, well, our CEO is really proud of our Child Watch program, because you can go almost anywhere and get services, but not many people will say to you, oh, and while you do that, we'll watch your kids. So she really loves that piece. And then the other piece of impactful is much like Sheri was saying, and I'll just say it again because I believe so strongly in it. When I was at the county, we used to talk all the time about community partnerships, but it was harder to do from the county level because it's the county level. And so what I love about working at AZCEND and working with First Things First are these partnerships with fourth trimester, with First Things First. And like, with no exception, whenever you say, do you want to work on this together, or I need some help because I'm looking for this, without exception, everyone is willing to help. I talked to you about all of the FRCs in Maricopa County. There's a full raft of those statewide, and there's a Family Resource Center network that meets every other month too. And so it's just really wonderful to work in a system where, like Sheri said, everyone is focused on what's best for the kids and families. What can we do for them? How does that work? And even when we talk to our First Things First partners about, our grant or whatever, it's, well, what's best for the kids. And so I think that's very impactful that folks are focused on that rather than some of the other things that can be a distraction.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you both for giving us such a great introduction to all the things that you do and all the wonderful programs. I'm going to pop us off Facebook for now, and we'll just end our meeting with some chatting. If there's anybody on Facebook who wants to join and chat and ask a few more questions, you're welcome to pop on with us on the Zoom, but I'm going to take us off Facebook now.